Take it slow, take it easy, and really watch your numbers so that way you can plan. That way you can have a successful business. I believe that you can do quality customer service and quality services without locking customers into long-term contracts. Most people move into Kansas don't even know that termites are a thing. Sure. They are, and they can eat your investment from the inside out.
What's going on, everybody? Kyle Powers here, Haven Real Estate Group at eXp Realty, here with another episode of Local Legends of the Flint Hills, where business meets community. We've got a very special guest here with me, Tracey Bearman with C Valley Exterminators. Tracey, thank you so much for joining me today.
You bet.
Yeah, no, hey, I appreciate it, and honestly, I'm excited to get going onto it. So let's just jump in. So where did the inspiration to come to start C Valley Exterminators? What did that look like for you guys?
Well, actually, it was my husband that started it. He had been in the pest control industry for a good 7 years, working for a couple other local pest control companies, and where he gained his experience. And being an employee of one of those exterminators actually drove him to say, you know, I can do better service. I can do better for the customer. So that's where he kind of went out on his own, basically focusing on that customer service aspect.
Yeah, no, and I love that, and I will talk to that too. I mean, I love calling in here, and you guys answer the phone quickly. You get on stuff, and it's not routing around to international and anything else that we come into that side. So I do love that. The client experience that you have with C Valley here is fantastic. So, and I guess that leads into the next question. So let's talk about what. With C Valley being locally owned, locally ran, locally serviced, and how that has been a good fit for you guys over the last X amount of years, and what that has looked like.
Yeah, thanks, Kyle. Being locally owned and locally operated means that the customer service stays in-house. And our employees are obviously local. Therefore, our money circulates through the local economy, right? So it's not being shipped across the world. There's been a lot of changes in our industry over the last couple of years, where even some of the clients in Manhattan may not even realize that they are actually doing business with an international or nationally owned company, not a locally owned company anymore. And so I know some people consider that very important. So it might be kind of nice to know exactly if you're dealing with a locally owned company or an international company and kind of where your money is going to end up.
So you guys have been working here in the area for quite a while. How has, from when you started, when C Valley Exterminators started, how has that evolved over the many years of you guys servicing the local area?
Yeah, we have been in business now for over 26 years. And so a lot of that has been, obviously we started very small. It was just my husband and I running it. And eventually we got busy enough where we started hiring on employees, and so now, we still have a small staff. We're still 10 employees, but still we want to maintain that. We actually want to grow that in the future. So.
Sure. No, I love that. And again, I think the big thing for what you guys have been able to create here is you are keeping it local. You're keeping a lot of that around the Wamego and Manhattan area. And I think that I love what you're doing with that.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Thank you.
So with all of this, Tracey, one of your things that you talk about, and we meet every single week, but one of these things that you talk about is taking care of you, of what's bugging you without locking you into a long-term contract.
Right.
So talk to us about what that looks like and why that sets you guys apart from other exterminating companies around here.
Yeah, I believe that you can do quality customer service and quality services without locking customers into long-term contracts. The pest control actually needs to be decided upon by the homeowner and their home, kind of where they live. Sometimes if you have a newer home, you don't live around a lot of trees, you might only need a couple services a year. So why pay for 4 or 6 services a year when you only need 2? And we also want to specialize in what pests are you having a problem with. We want to identify what that pest is so that when we come out, we are trying to take care of that that pest, whether it's a spider or an ant or roaches or bed bugs or rodents, the list goes on. So whatever the homeowner's having an issue with, that's what we want to go in and tackle.
Yeah. Without locking him into long-term contract.
We can provide the quality services, and guarantee our work, without locking the customers into long-term contracts.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. So you touched on a lot of it there. So let's dive into that piece of it, right? So what do you guys cover whenever you are not locking people into a long-term contract? What are you covering with that? You talked about ants and roaches and bed bugs and and lions and tigers, oh my. But talk about what you guys offer for extermination.
All right. Well, obviously termites is a huge issue in Kansas. Most people who move into Kansas don't even know that termites are a thing. Sure. They are, and they can eat your investment from the inside out. So you want to make sure that you have an annual look at your house, an annual inspection on your home. Homeowners that call in and just want their house checked, we don't even charge for that. Especially if you're just going to have a spider treatment or something, you can pay for the spider treatment. That's basically the service call. Sure. And so we can also look for termites at that time if there's something that they're worried about. We also, when there are termites there, we do a termite treatment. We actually do a soil treatment using Termidor. We feel like because that is a barrier around your house, protecting your home from termites. And then we offer annual agreements, which the customer, again, can choose to have or not have. With that annual agreement, we will, while we're inspecting for termites a year later, we will come in and we will spray for spiders, crickets, beetles, that kind of thing, just kind of your maintenance pests at no additional charge while we're there. When it comes to ants, that is one that we do guarantee. It's a one and done payment. So in the spring, say with all the rainy weather that comes in, you've got some ants. We want to come in and do that ant treatment. It's an inside and outside treatment. Once that's done, it's guaranteed for the rest of the year. So until the snow flies. So whether that's November, December, whatever. If the termites don't go away, we're going to come back after 2 or 3 weeks and do another treatment for you at no charge. If they go away and they come back in October, we're still going to come back and treat those at no additional cost too. So that's important to know. Rodents. We have rodent stations that has, there's actual bait that is regulated by the EPA that we have locked into those boxes. The rodents, they go in, they munch on that bait, they think it's pretty yummy, and then they'll go off. They're going to start to feel ill. And just like people, when you don't feel well, you go to bed. So that's usually what they do, is they go back to their nest and they die. And they may feed once, twice, sometimes 3 times, depending upon how healthy they are. They could feed on that, and then they're going to go back to their nest and they're going to die. And so that's how we kind of maintain control of rodents around a house, maybe even your barns. We've had huge success even in grain areas, where they're actually choosing our bait over that yummy grain. Yeah. Okay. So, that's also a plus too. My husband was pretty proud of that. So we actually have a customer that he was pretty proud of. Let's see, what else was there? Roaches. When it comes to roaches, that is definitely a cleanliness issue on 99% of the time. There's just things that need to be cleaned up, thrown away, whatever, but we can come in and control those roaches while the cleanup is happening. Sometimes there's that very minute time, which we had a close client, a close friend of ours that actually had roaches. They were extremely frantic about having these roaches. I cannot believe we have roaches. I was like, well, are you getting shipments in? We're like, yeah, we've got some boxes, big things that we had come in. We've ordered some stuff and those boxes come in. Well, roaches, those boxes sit around in warehouses. And roaches that are in those warehouses are laying eggs in those boxes. So you do have a chance of bringing, those shipments coming in and those eggs hatching in the house or in your garage or wherever you're storing these boxes. So we do say when you get a shipment, unload those boxes and get them out to the curb. Don't store the boxes. Don't reuse the boxes. when it comes to commercial accounts, they always get, cups and things in great big boxes. We tell them, please just take those out and put those in plastic tubs to protect them.
Sure.
But you're getting those boxes out the door.
Sure.
Let's see, when it comes to bed bugs are a real thing. I was like, when I was a kid, time to go to bed, don't let bed bugs bite. Yep. And I was like, oh yeah, they're just fake. Well, they're not fake, and they're very easy to get. That is not a cleanliness issue. They just love to travel. And so if you are visiting loved ones, if you are in a hotel, you can be in the doctor's office, kids can pick them up at school, at a friend's house, just anywhere you go. They could jump on your jacket, on your purse, on a backpack, and travel home with you. And then start an infestation with just that little bit of contact.
I'm itching just thinking about it.
But we can take care of you. And there's nothing on the market right now that will kill bed bugs. You've got to contact a professional to take care of those. And so a lot of companies will do some heat treatments. That becomes very expensive. You're talking $3,500 for something like that at the very minimum. And there's no residual effect with that. That means that if they miss one or you reinfest, there's no residual there to kill that, and they could reinfest, and then you have to do it all over again. With our treatments, we have a solution-based treatment that will do the inside, the whole inside of the house, and we come back every month until we are confident that they're gone. But even if we're confident that they're gone, there's still residual there. Okay, ready for if they bring in one more or something. There's still something there to take care of them for 6 months. So if you think that it goes beyond that, then we can just do that treatment again as a preventative measure and just kind of keep going on it. So that's, when it comes to commercial ones, that's where they usually land, is the preventative measure. Like hotels and stuff are usually really good about being preventative about that. They want to make sure that they prevent that from being an infestation, because people are going to be bringing them in. Absolutely. They don't want people taking them home with them.
Sure.
So a lot of preventative measures, and a lot of restaurants. You want them to be preventative. We don't want to have a huge infestation, in your favorite restaurant, So it's great that restaurants are calling and getting those monthly treatments done in their kitchens, making sure that, because sometimes your pest control guy can actually find some stuff that you don't see. Right. The owner's thinking that the employees are doing what they're doing when it comes to cleanup in that kitchen, but the pest control guy can probably tell you otherwise.
You see, yeah. I see that.
So what have we not covered? Let's see. Of course, spiders, crickets, beetles, that's your general pest control. Flying pests, flies are a huge issue around the area. We do have, I just love our PT Alpine bait spray that you can spray around windows and doors. It's a bait, and they go up and they eat that bait, and they just immediately die. Yeah. So it's great when they're pesting, bothering you and stuff. Then you can spray this around your windows and just feel good that they're perishing. So nice. Yeah, that's another thing. We also do power sprays around the outside of your home too. So if you've got some flies or even mosquitoes, gnats, all that kind of stuff flying around your outside, maybe we can do an exterior power spray outside a couple times a year. Yeah. A lot of people have pools. They want sprayed around their pool houses to kind of eliminate some of these pests that they're annoying them while they're trying to enjoy their pool.
Sure.
So that's also an option. But yeah, that goes right back to identifying the pest at hand and taking care of what the customer needs at that point.
Yeah. No, and I think that's something I'd love to touch on too, is just, calling in here and talking about, I called in just last week, I think it was, and we talked through a couple different scenarios and a couple different things, and we kind of went through and I think we found the issue as far as it goes, but just having that knowledge, having that 20 plus years of knowledge with you guys here and everything of that, and just kind of being able to identify what that is just by having the experience and having the know-how and having all that stuff. So I think that's big for sure. So what have been one of the most common things that you get called in for?
I don't know. It's just whatever's bugging them. Yeah. Whatever is bugging you. We have customers that bring in a bug They will take a picture of a bug and email it to us, so that we can try to identify what's going on.
Sure.
Like with yours, you're like, what is this? It took us a couple times. We're going to come out and we're going to take a look. We're going to try to figure out what it is. And so identifying the pest at hand is big. I do want to touch again on not necessarily commercial accounts, but it's still residential, but say apartment buildings.
Yep.
If there's roaches in one apartment and we're treating for one apartment, it's not just that one apartment that you need to be thinking of. You need to be thinking about the apartment above, below, and side to side. Because when we go to do our treatment, and probably those people are already seeing an issue because they will travel through the walls. Right. So what we want to do is when we go in to do that main treatment, we want to do a preventative treatment, up, down, side to side. So that if and when those bugs, whether it's roaches or bed bugs, they will both do this. They will travel through the walls. So we want to do that preventative measure so that the other tenants are not being affected. So whether that's an apartment complex, school, hotels, any of those would need to make sure that they have those preventative treatments done as well.
Sure. Any of the creepy crawlies?
Yes.
As with any business and anything that we have that, but you guys have really keyed off, and we've talked a little bit earlier in the video here, but your client experience is one of the top of mind, top of thing for you and your employees and everybody that you have here. So how do you guys as a company continue to create that high level experience for your clients and for your customers? And how do you keep that front of mind?
Well, we try to instill in our employees, that the customer is king, and it's really up to them when they need pest control, because everyone's perception or tolerance for a pest is different than others. Some people can see a spider and be okay with it. Others, if they see a spider, they're going to freak out.
And they usually live together.
And they usually live together. So, we have had husbands and wives. The wife will call in, and then 10 minutes later, the husband's calling in because the wife told him to, but she beat him to the punch. But yeah, what was the question?
How do you keep client experience top of mind?
Yes, because we want to go into a home like it's our own. Like we know that these pests are bothersome and in some ways destroying, in some ways unhealthy. So we want to make sure that we are maintaining a healthy living environment for our customers and their families. And so that's really top of mind with us and our employees. We want to make sure that, their items in their home stay safe, as well as any living creature, their pets and their children and, anyone living in their home stay safe.
Sure. Which offers a good segue into my next question. So what has been one moment, one client, one experience that you and your company, whichever one you want to talk about, that has been a very memorable moment where you've been able to make a large difference in their life?
Well, a lot of times, like I said, my husband was pretty proud of that rodent situation that we just had not that long ago with the grain. The farmer really didn't think that we could do that much difference, but we got it under control, so that was pretty proud. But I think the proudest one, the most recent, is we did have a client in another town just north of here that had an apartment building, and they had been battling bed bugs for quite a while. And the tenants there, it got to be where they didn't have many tenants left because they just kept leaving because they were tired of the situation. Well, the owner actually had another local pest control company out of Manhattan working on that project. And they had them working on that for maybe 7 months or so with not a huge amount of success. And so they decided, we're going to change and we're going to give Cobb Valley a try. Well, we got in there, and I'm telling you, we've made a huge difference in there. They are to the point where, they're taking off all the trim. They want to repaint, they want to clean, because we've got the bed bug situation under control. Sure. I think there was only one apartment where they were seeing a little bit of live activity, but not much. And they are taking off trim because, and you'd be amazed, take off that trim and it's just coated. When you've got bed bugs that long, it was just coated under there with dead bed bugs and remains of bed bugs. And so you have to peel that off of there before you can paint. They really wanted to go in there and clean it up really good. And so that way when the new tenants come in, the apartment is fresh and clean and bed bug free. And so I just really thought that, that this another company tried for 7 months and didn't quite get it. We got in there and it took us several months, but we did get it under control and to where they're ready to turn everything around and get that rented again.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure that much lost income. I'm sure they're ready for sure. So, okay. So let's, talk to me. You guys have been in this area for a while. You just moved into this new space that we're standing in. Fantastic space. What does the future for Caw Valley, what does that look like for you guys?
All right. Well, hopefully, like I said, we want to grow some more. Right now we service, obviously, Wamego, Manhattan. We go over to Chapman. As far as west is Chapman, we do have several clients like our contractors and stuff that we will go a little bit further for new construction, because we do that as well. We will go as far east as Topeka. We go into Topeka. We go as far south as Council Grove. And then we're in Marysville every week. A lot of times we'll go into Nebraska even a couple times a year. Okay. So we've got quite the service area. And so a lot of times when our clients call in, we can usually get them fit in within a week, sure. Depending upon where we're going to be at. So especially if they're in, Waterville or somewhere Beatty or something, sure. We're going to be able to get them worked in fairly quickly, even though they're kind of out on the outskirts, per se.
Okay. So looking to grow your reach again.
Yes.
We're looking to grow a bigger presence in there. Mm-hmm. So that's awesome. Okay, so got a couple more questions before we wrap up. But before we do that, I want to ask, we get a lot of people watching these videos and things that way that are either young entrepreneurs or just entrepreneurs in general. What has been one of your biggest lessons learned or one of your biggest pieces of advice for any entrepreneurs looking or watching this video?
Try not to go too fast.
Yeah.
Take it slow. Really watch your numbers. I mean, your accountant is going to tell you, watch your numbers, know what your numbers are when it comes to business. Know the ratios of your expenses between your payroll, your operating expenses, what's going out the door. Yeah. So that way how much is actually staying in your company. Because I know a lot of times we also like to give out to the community. So we have given to local schools. We like to donate to our local charities, between the Manhattan and Wamego areas and out. We've reached out also to Alma and areas too. But just take it slow, take it easy, and really watch your numbers so that way you can plan and that way you can have a successful business.
No, I love it. A lot of people don't pay attention to their numbers, so it's important. Okay, so before we wrap it up, how does anybody watching this video, how do they get a hold of you guys here and request your services?
All right, great. Well, like I said, we've got a great new building here on Highway 24, just as you're entering Wamego. And so you really can't miss this big yellow building. So, we encourage you to stop in anytime you come by. A lot of people come in to make a payment, set up an appointment, drop off a bug. So, and it's great. We do have an office kitty, so you can come in and pet star anytime you like. Most people will call in using 785-456-7357, or you can always email us any questions, email for an appointment, email pictures of bugs, anything like that at cawvalleyexterminator.com or at Gmail. cawvalleyexterminator@gmail.com. Also visit our website at cawvalleyexterminator.com.
Thank you so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate it. And for anybody watching this video, please reach out to Tracy and her team and reach out to everybody here at Caw Valley. Again, they're here to take care of your creepy crawlies. They want to make sure that you are taking care of what's bugging you and not locking you into a long-term contract. I got it. But no, please reach out. Whether you are interested in pest control and having some pest control done on your property, whether it's an investment, your personal, or whatever that is, reach out to them. They do a great job of getting back to you. They do a great job of answering your questions, answering the phone, which is a big one for me, but that's a whole different thing. But answering the phone and taking care of you guys and taking care of what you're looking for. So As always, if you have anybody that is interested in something like this, please share this video with them. Tell Tracy's story a little bit more. And then as always, if you are loving the stuff that you are watching here, please go and hit that subscribe button. Go and hit that little button so you get notified of any future videos that get posted. And go ahead and share this video with anybody that might be interested. So thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. Tracy, thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for coming in, Kyle.
So appreciate it. Till next time.